So now you've made all this cotton candy, and you're probably asking yourself, what do we do now? Well, that's what we're doing on the next episode of Cotton Candy 101. It's time to sell. Let's go. Well, this is going to be a completely different episode of Cotton Candy 101. First of all, we're not in the studio and we're not in the shop. We are out at an event. So there's going to be a lot of distractions, but we want to get to this point of where we teach you now how to finally start selling this cotton candy. You've made all of it. You started your business. You've come up with all the fun stuff. Now it's time to start making some money, and that's what we're going to do today in this episode of Cotton Candy 101. It is time to start selling. So this is one of our setups booths. This is our outdoor setup. As you can see here, we're nicely branded. We got the cotton candy out here. We don't show you right now, but we do have the upper banner. I'll make sure to put that in a video some point during the podcast, but this is the basic booth setup. Like with so many other things that we've done throughout this series, you've got to make it your own. This is how we like to do it. We like it pretty simple, well-branded, clean. It is a simple message what we are trying to do. We're trying to sell multiple flavors of cotton candy. First thing you want to notice is we've got a lot of different flavors out here. And the reason that we like to do this is because it gives a lot of different options for customers. We have something for everyone. Also, a couple of pro tips here. Usually we'll have our more adult flavors on one side, our kids flavors on the other, and we never have the same flavors or the same colors right next to each other. So you see a lot of different colors that are spread around, but you're not going to have two pinks, two purples next to each other. That way the customers can tell that they are different flavors. Now, when it comes to events, the most important thing is eye contact and to be engaging. You don't want to ever buy anything from someone that is sitting at a chair at the back of their booth. So stand up, make eye contact, introduce yourselves. But like with so many things, you can go too far with that. You do not want to be a carnival barker because that could be really annoying as well. If you're telling a story with the visual, you will get people coming up to your booth. Now, another of the most important things to do, especially if you're dealing with multiple gourmet flavors, is sample, sample, sample. Over the years, we have proven that you get about a 70 to 75% sample to buy rate if you are sampling. So offer samples. You'll see it right here on our banners that we say free samples. It is because it is the hallmark of how we've been successful over the years. Sample, sample, sample. Now, as you get going, you will notice that sometimes some people will take advantage of the free sample. So we like to have a little rule with the booth. First of all, children, we always say you got to have your parent here. Two reasons. There are legitimate allergen issues out there, but even more so, that way you don't have kids that are just coming up asking for free samples. They've got to bring their parents back. So also, the parents most of the time have the money, so that is a big plus. Second of all, sometimes what I'll say at the beginning of interacting with someone coming up to the booth, I'll tell them, you can have one or two samples. That way there's not an expectation that they can taste everything. And then if a customer is obviously buying, you can let them keep sampling. Something else that you'll notice here with our pricing structure, we have multiple pack discounts. And the reason for that is it encourages higher average ticket price, which is something that is very important to us. We do the 1 for 6, 3 for 15, 5 for 24, 10 for 40. And that causes our average ticket to be at least a 3-pack on average. So highly recommend look at your pricing structure to try to give you some more options to get that average ticket up. This is also where I don't like to do multiple sizes. If you give the customer the option of spending less money, many times they will. Some other tips when it comes to events that I really want to focus on is being a good vendor. So over the years, folks have always liked having Bombshell Sweets come out to their event because they know what they're going to get. They're going to get a professional, respectable vendor. The things that are most important is communicate with your host, be on time or early if you can, and in most situations, don't ever pack up and leave early. Ask your neighbors if they can help and just be a good neighbor. Trust me, you will thank yourself after a few years when folks are coming to you to want you to come to their event. So kind of going back to the table a little bit, we talked about the different colors and the different setups. I'm going to go back to what I say in so many different things is make this your own. Tell your story. I like the clean. It's very simple what we're doing, and you come to the table, you know what we're doing. We engage, we smile, we say hello. Would you like a sample? The sales will come from that. Now, what kind of events should you look to do when you get started? Well, I'm going to flip the script on that, and I'm going to tell you what I think you shouldn't do when you get started. It's a controversial take, but I stand with this, and I always encourage when I'm talking to new people to take this mindset. Stay away from big events when you are just getting started. I know that's kind of counterproductive. You want to get out there, you want to find the largest audience, but when it comes to large events, there's a lot of shortcomings when it comes to that. One of the most important things is you are competing with so much other noise. There are rides. There's probably 3 or 4 other people doing cotton candy. And as a new vendor, you are not going to get the best space location. I know it is tempting to go after the big fish. Give it time. In fact, even to this point, 7 years in, I don't do fairs because I just don't think they're valuable. What we have found the most success is finding those good events with repeat customers. We like racetrack events, rodeos. Rodeos are automatic winners if you can get into them. Find places where you're not competing with similar like products. So that kind of is my take on that. Let's talk about some events that you can do. I talked about the racetrack. I talked about rodeos. Farmers markets are good if you can get into them. Community events, city events, those kind of things. Put yourself out there. When we got started the first year, we did almost 250 events. There were many days in the summer where we had 4 to 5 teams out, and I don't recommend that. It was a little bit of a hard road to go, but it taught us a lot and it got our name out there. Find good events, cheap, good events when you're getting started because you need to learn your craft. You are not going to be as good when you start as you are a year or so in. So take time to really learn your craft. So we're going to go back to the studio to kind of wrap up this episode, but I wanted to show you a little bit about the booth. Unfortunately, our event today is not open, so I don't have customers to show you. I'm going to see if I can unearth some old archive videos of folks coming up to the booth. But I want to kind of give you a visual on how we set up the booth, how it's clean, and how we present the product. So we're going to get back to the studio for the rest of this episode. All right, here we are back in the studio. Some things I want to talk as we're wrapping up this episode. I want to show you some of our indoor booth setups. So here's an example of our single booth setup where you just have a 10 by 10 booth, one side facing the customers. Here is probably my favorite setup, which is the corner booth setup. I really like this because it gives you an option of engaging multiple groups of customers at the same time. This is probably my favorite indoor booth setup. And then here's something that we've been working on pretty recently too, and this is our shelf setup, creating more of a shopping type of environment. As with all of these setups, with everything that you're doing, make it your own. Create an environment where you feel comfortable welcoming people in to talk about your product and your business. Something else you're seeing in these pictures is you'll see our video menu board. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this episode about it. I'll probably create a whole episode just about that on the channel. But the menu boards are a low cost wow option that you can add to your booth. And I'll do a breakdown on that in a future episode. As always, keep it simple. You can easily overcomplicate this. Keep it simple. Make it an environment where customers want to come up. They want to engage with you. Also, can't stress this enough. Sample, sample, sample. It is the tried and true bedrock of Bombshell Suites events history is sample, sample, sample. Also, you can easily overdo it. Keep it simple. Going back to the keep it simple, I never offer more than 12 flavors and I never offer more than one size. Personally, that's what's worked well for me over the years. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about is something that comes up a lot in the group, which is live spinning. Truth be told, we at Bombshell Suites, we have never in 7 years ever spun live an event. Kind of shocking, to be honest with you, that we've never done it. We have only done prepackaged. But I have to admit, there is a lot of appeal to live spinning and something that we've actually been thinking about. Now, my suggestion, what we are probably going to be doing in the future with some specific events, is merging live spinning with prepackaged. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go into a lot of the details on live spinning to order or live spinning a single flavor, but what I would like to suggest would be certain times of the day, maybe break it down by the hour, spin specific flavors live. So at 10 o'clock, you spin this flavor, 11 o'clock, you spin this flavor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Create a really cool sign. Give reason for customers to want to come back. Then you're live spinning, you're putting on your show, but you still have all of your options and all the benefits of prepackaged. Something to keep in mind, if you are going to be live spinning, you most likely probably will need an extra staff member, because you never want to slow your line down by having to stop, spin, and come back. Also, you will have some power needs that you will need from the event. So those are all just things to keep in mind when you are live spinning. Hopefully we've gotten you to the point now where you are ready. Through all of these episodes, you're ready to go out and do your first event. So what's my biggest recommendation? Go do an event. Doesn't matter. Keep it simple. Something inexpensive, something small. Go find a community event, but get out there and do your first event, because it's going to be scary. It's going to be rough, but you'll never have another first event. Then you can start working on planning your second event and your third event, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Go find an event. Just go do something. Get the first one out of the way. So that wraps up this episode on selling. We're going to see you the next time in the final episode of the Cotton Candy 101 series. That's the Q&A episode. Hopefully we get a ton of questions from you guys and we can answer all of your burning questions before we wrap up this series. Once again, thanks. It's Jeff with Bombshell Sweets. We'll see you next time.